So I made a couple of videos talking about buying back your time, but I don't think everyone necessarily sees how they can apply this to themselves. So the following is a great example of how this one person saved and bought back their time with collecting firewood for the winter. Not only saved their time, but saved their money and had a lot easier and less stressful time on their body. So I'm going to play the clip here, and yeah, stay tuned to watch it. It's actually really good.
Alright guys, welcome back to Frugal Homestead. So today, it's not clickbait. Honestly guys, I'm done cutting firewood. Now, to make you understand what I'm saying, I'm not getting rid of my wood burner. I'm just going to a different product. So, let's start at the beginning. Through doing all this years of firewood, we've tried to optimize as best as possible. We live on a hill, so pulling the splitter into the woods is almost impossible. So generally I have to cut the logs or the dead trees, chop them up, put them in the truck, bring them up the hill, take them to the splitter, split them, load it back in the truck, bring it back here, because our building is only big enough to have all our wood stacked for a year in it. You can't throw it in, so you got to stack it, which takes even more time. This is a very inefficient method to do firewood. Now, it still beats paying the electric cost to run a furnace in this thing, like we did the first winter we were here, but in the long term, you got to look at your time versus your money versus everything else. Now, in having these new side gigs like DoorDash and Uber Eats for me, and my wife doing Instacart and Shipt and Grubhub, we can make $200 on a Saturday each. Now, that would pay for probably almost our year's worth of wood. But yet in that same Saturday, working our butts off, we're probably only going to come up with somewhere around 2 to 3 cords of wood for split. Now when you add in the cost of maintaining a chainsaw, buying new chains, normal maintenance like air filters, and the time it takes to clean and sharpen chains, that's a lot of cost and time lost there. And then when you add in the regular maintenance of your splitter, as well as the gas and fuel and stuff for it, the oil, all that stuff, and the time it takes to actually split, and add in all the gas that goes in the truck, be it doing it the split wood way or the way I'm about to take you along and show you. So this is the end cutoff of a cant. Now what a cant is a beam essentially. They take a log and they square it up. Alright? So our local sawmill here that makes pallets squares up logs into these beams called cants, and then it takes and cuts the ends off to square them up. So this is a block byproduct. They sell these for $35 a ton.
$35 a ton. I saw this video a couple of years ago when I was looking at getting a wood burner for my house, but I love the way he breaks down talking about the fact that he can actually just drive around, do Uber Eats, and make enough money to buy a whole year's worth of wood in the course of a single Saturday versus going around and actually splitting it and collecting himself, plus the wear in the body. I get that some people really love doing this, love splitting the wood, love the going out and collecting it, but for some people it becomes a chore after a while. Sometimes they just get older, sometimes they don't want to necessarily have to do it. And realizing the other options, or at least having them in the back of your mind while you're doing it, can not only make you appreciate the work you're actually doing more, because now when you go out into the woods to collect it and get the stuff, you're choosing to do that. You don't have to. You're choosing. You get to go out into the woods and collect it. And that mindset switch alone is a very positive one, and one that can greatly increase the satisfaction that you get from the labor that you choose to do. Realizing that you choose to do everything in your life dramatically improves your mindset for a lot of stuff, because people typically go around and be like, oh, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to get up this time. I made lots of videos talking about this. You don't have to do anything. You can sit there and you can die. I don't recommend it. If you have thoughts of it, get mental help. Yeah. But like, you can choose to do nothing. So the fact that you are doing something is in itself a choice. And because you're making that choice, why not like be happy about it? Like, it's not I have to, it's I get to. I mean, no one can really force you to do something you don't want to do. And if you are so determined as to say, like, I would rather die than do that, there is nothing that someone can force you to do. I mean, there's other methods, like, I'm not going to get into, but like kidnapping families and other things, but like, that's not really going to happen for 99.99999% of people who are going to watch this video. But besides that, you can't really make someone do something that they're not willing to do. Even a lot of the cases of like slavery, even the brick slavery that happens nowadays in India, if they were determined enough and decided, you know what, I'd rather die than be a slave, they could just walk away and try to make it on their own. Sure, some of them will actually die, but some of them will make it and will survive. Part of it is the mindset. They have to convince you that you deserve to be there in order to get you to stay. If you would rather die than do it, then those are your two options. And you can choose to die and to go off and make it on your own. And if you're willing to fight something so strongly that you like fight to the death, no one's gonna, like, if someone came to your house and was like, you're a slave now, and you're like, no, I'm not. If you were willing to fight to the death to prove that you were not a slave now, then why would that other person keep fighting you? They're going to exhaust themselves and kill themselves in the process. Not even kill themselves, but exhaust themselves and drain themselves of energy, only to have you fight yourself to the death and wear yourself all the way down until you just die and then you're not a slave anymore. I mean, you're looking at the two options here of like, it's a fight that's not even worth fighting for the person that would be trying to make someone into a slave. And I don't even know how we got into this topic, but yeah, it does. It's something I've been thinking about. It's like, if someone came to your house and was like, you work for me now, and let's just ignore the fact that we have laws, we have society, like go back to medieval times, tribal times, where like you just had little communities. I mean, if you're just willing to fight to the death, no one's going to mess with you. Like, they're just going to be like, okay, well, I'm not going to waste all my energy just to have you die in the process of me trying to make you a slave. Anyways, I don't know how the heck we got to there. Just thoughts going through my head. Anyways, yeah, examine your life. See where, like, you're spending your time, and if you can, like, buy it back in any ways. I mean, he literally is getting waste products that he can burn. That's not pine he's burning. I think he talks about it in the video. It's like spruce or some other wood. I'm not sure it's spruce. It's some soft. It's one of the softer hardwoods, but it's not pine, so it's not going to sap up his chimney and his furnace. But there's ways to go about solving it, and a lot of people just lack creativity in their thoughts. There are ways to make it a win-win scenario for someone else. Like right here, he gets wood for cheap, someone else gets rid of their waste product. It's a win-win. There's other ways to pull this off. There's other ways that you can apply this to your life. You just need to kind of go out and look for them. Think about stuff. Create space for awareness and allow new environments to create new thoughts. So, my mind's kind of scattered today. I just worked really hard. But anyways, I'm going to go hit the gym, and I want to leave you with it. How can you apply this to your life? Are there any areas that you're wasting your time at? I have been absolutely thrilled with the robot vacuum I bought. I have like an OCD where I really dislike my house being clean, just like having specks of dirt on the floor. So the fact that I can just have a vacuum do it for me once a day actually makes me feel a lot better, and it's totally worth the value to me. And also, if you look at the time commitment over a couple months, a year, like over the course of a year, the robot vacuum for how often I would vacuum pays back itself like 3 times. Just minimum, like if I only estimate my time at $20 an hour, it pays it back over 3 times. So, yeah, peace out.